Utah's School Guardian program is designed to put armed, trained volunteers inside of schools. And as a reporter, I've been following the Guardian program for well over a year now. So when I found out that Emery County Sheriff Tyson Huntington recently came here to Capitol Hill to present his training program to lawmakers,
So just kind of a quick overview of our Guardian training down in Emery County.
I said, I have got to sit down with him and talk about it more in depth. So we got in the car, we drove a couple hours to Emery County, and we sat down with the sheriff for a few hours one-on-one. And I began by asking him, how does a county of just 10,000 people already have all of their guardians trained and in place when some counties haven't even started yet?
The administrations before me, they put a lot of work in with our school districts over the past 20 years. And I'm really benefiting from the work that they've done, the relationships that they've built.
Which is how Emery County was able to so quickly get their volunteer guardians to step up. In the beginning, guardians split time at the range and classroom for 4 hours a week. 630 instructor hours later, the training wrapped up the last week of the summer.
Help me! Help me!
That's when guardians did scenario-based training for the first time. And that's what we traveled to Emery County to ask Sheriff Tyson Huntington about.
Tell me what's going on here, what we're going to be looking at, when this was done, and what it was for.
Okay, so this was the scenario day with our guardians. The end of our training, we got together and just did scenarios. The scenarios that we used were ones that were given to us by the state in the training program. So we set these up with our cops, the guardians, and we're using the high school here.
Are these scenarios that we're going to be watching, did the guardians know every detail of what was going to play out, or did they just know that this is training and that something that's not supposed to happen is probably going to happen in the classroom?
Yes, they knew the scenario as far as an unwanted student in the classroom.
Okay. So they really didn't know a ton.
They had really no information.
Morning, students.
We're gonna go to Maverick instead of
Bring me a Dr. Pepper.
If I get you a Dr. Pepper, do I have to go to class today?
Okay, so kind of tell me what's going on here. So students are walking in.
Yeah, students are coming in from the hallway for class, and then the fellow with the helmet on, he's the unwanted student, and he's engaging the teacher now.
Okay, you can't be in here. I'm trying to hold class. He can't be in here. He's got to go.
No, I'm okay.
So who's that at the door?
So the guardian is walking
That's the
in.
guardian.
Yep. The guardian's walking in. The student gave his back to the guardian and then pulled the weapon out from his hoodie pocket. And they're having dialogue about him leaving the room and leaving the kids.
So it's trying to de-escalate.
Yeah, trying to de-escalate, and she's walking him out of the room here. And then after she backs out of the room, he shuts the door and locks it. And that's the end of the scenario. The interesting part about working with these guardians and the school background that they have is they all love these kids, and every one of them, their first instinct is to help the kids. So in this situation, the guardian's in there, the kid's having an issue, and a gun is introduced, and they still want to help and get them out of the room to make things safe.
How much more does a video like this help than hurt? Clearly, you don't want an armed shooter locked in the classroom with the kids. So,
Right.
you know, that was a mistake, I guess, that was made in training, but that's why you do the training. But how much can this help as opposed to hurt? Because it looks bad.
Right.
But how much does this actually help?
So it completely changes the game. Up until this point, we've trained with firearms, we've trained in the classroom, and now we're putting everything together. And it really exploits the weak parts, if you want to call it a weak part. You know, in this case, it's not really a weak part because that's what they do. They help these kids. But now the situation is completely different, so they're having to go other places in their mind.
Think differently in a different situation.
Yes, with this guardian, afterwards when we talked about it, it brought up a ton of conversation within the guardians, even specific to our cops. You know, the perspective that we gain from what the guardians see and the perspective that they gain from what we see has brought us together to train this way. And as we've moved forward with this, these little mistakes and these little, we can do these better, have gone away. Yeah. And they've just gotten better. They've rose to this occasion, and it's been pretty unreal.
When you first saw this video, what ran through your mind?
I know this guardian personally, and I knew that they were going to beat themselves up over what happened. But as we talked about it, it created such a good training environment for everyone that it was a good thing. And this guardian, super smart person, has dealt with kids for a long time, and we were able to have that open conversation. Like, my whole career I've been helping kids, and now this thing could be something that I'm dealing with. I just need to go there in my mind. And it helped everyone cross that bridge. But every one of them said how the scenario-based training is what opened their eyes the most to help them improve.
Help me, my leg!
The second scenario is designed to be an impossible situation, multiple distractions, a wounded person, and a shooter that does not go down.
This scenario is set up as an impossible scenario. So the bandit never dies in this scenario. They have multiple weapons, and what we're trying to teach the guardian is to not deal with the other distractions. That their main focus is to interact with that bandit and to eliminate that threat and make sure it's eliminated, and oftentimes wait for law enforcement to get there to take care of that and not go to the wounded or the other people that are distracting them until the time is right.
Because again, guardians, they want to help kids. They want to help other people.
It's the most difficult thing, and this one is the impossible situation.
All right, so kind of walk us through what's going on as we see this here.
So some students are shot at. You can hear them yelling. The students go to get the guardian and come back to this room, and the guardian is engaging the bad guy in the room from the hallway.
Not my leg! Stop!
But the guardian keeps
Help me!
firing back.
Help! 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 Help!
So at this point, the guardian is trying to put a tourniquet on the woman that's down.
I... Help!
So then here's the bad guy again. But this guardian has a hard time leaving that down person, enough to where he trips over her. But then he goes all out and takes out the bandit.
So that guardian was working on someone that was
Yes.
injured,
Yep.
and then left that person to go tackle the intruder.
So how that played out is the guardian first saw the bandit from the hallway, engaged with gunfire there, and the bandit went down. So at that point, the guardian went to the wounded, and you could hear him in the video undoing the Velcro on the tourniquet to put on the wounded to stop the bleed. But in the meantime, the bandit comes back up and fires more rounds. And it's difficult for people to leave what they're doing to do that when they know what they're doing is possibly saving a life.
What do we take away from this scenario-based training, this particular video?
So in particular, this one is we just want the guardian to understand what their role is, which is eliminating that threat, and to focus on that, to go to that threat, to take care of it, make sure that it's taken care of before they leave to do other things.
These are not people that have a ton of tactical training or firearm training even. I imagine some people haven't even picked up a gun before.
Yeah, and that's the truth. So we've had a couple of our guardians are military vets, and they've got some experience. A lot of our guardians are hunters. They enjoy hunting, but some are relatively new to the gun world.
In the third scenario, a student is the shooter.
With this scenario, it's an armed intruder. He's made contact with students. They're running from him. The guardian goes to the sound of the chaos, locates the bad guy, and eliminates him. If you noticed, when the scenario involves a child as opposed to just an armed intruder, the response is different, because I think what these teachers or what these guardians have done in their whole career, they've helped kids. Right. So I think for them to make that switch of, I'm helping this person, to, wow, that child might actually be the threat, and to go in their mind where they might have to eliminate that threat, it's taken some time, and it's been the source of a lot of discussions with our guardians. Like we've kind of talked about before, you always feel unfortunate that this is a thing that we're training, but to see that guardian, the guardian did it right. All of the kids were out of the way. They didn't have to worry about accidentally shooting someone, And as soon as they had a clear shot with the bandit, they eliminated the bandit. To be honest, a lot of times you'll watch these and it kind of gets you. You get a little emotional because you know what's going on, you know why we're doing this, and then you'll see these guardians that have stepped up to do this, and they take care of things.
Help me, my leg! I get shot! Help me!
The fourth scenario adds even more chaos. A downed victim, a moving threat, and a jammed gun.
So in this one, it seems like we've got a student or someone that's hurt.
Yeah. So a student
She shot me!
is down, and the guardian is trying to take care of the injured party and just keep this person at bay. And then they realize what's going on, and now they start giving commands. They do a little dance to take the guns. They had to do a reload or a malfunction,
My leg, she shot my leg.
and this.
She's still moving.
There's a lot going on here.
Yeah, and you can see why this is a no-win. This distraction for these guardians is just super difficult. And then you've got the downed party screaming and yelling and asking for help. And
I have to imagine in a real life scenario, there is nothing but distractions.
oh yeah,
Chaos going
Yep.
on.
100%.
Everywhere, everywhere.
Sheriff Huntington says that the Guardians got better with each training session, but he didn't know exactly what to expect going in.
In the beginning, I was super nervous, not sure how this was going to go, apprehensive about guns and guardians and the whole thing. But once we started training, it was clear that they were there to train and learn.
Was there a bit of a cultural shift amongst the officers that need to do the training and saying, okay, people that really have no experience protecting and serving are going to be put into positions to protect and serve?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in the beginning you could see that a little more, but it quickly went away and became an even playing field. I think once our deputies realized that there's a different perspective to this and listened to what the guardians were saying and their questions, it changed in their mind how they needed to approach this training.
You are in place to enforce the laws on the books, but given that, how much of a financial burden is this guardianship program?
It put a nice big dent in our ammunition budget as well. I think we probably shot about 20,000 rounds between everyone, and then over 600 hours of training, counting the guys that were there. And it took about a quarter of my overtime budget.
Emery County is 100 miles from end to end. The two high schools are 82 miles apart, and there are other schools that are 10 miles from each other.
We've talked about you might be the only guy there for 10 minutes, and you're going to have to wait for us. And that's some of the training that we've done where we've dealt with the distractions, that we want them to not worry about those distractions, but focus on the bad guy at hand or whatever the situation is.
Which is why scenario-based training is so important. It forces guardians into real-world decision-making.
You either love it or you hate it. It's hard because you know it's not a real thing and you're getting critiqued and you know what's going on there, so you act a little bit different. But the best part about scenario training is it puts you in that mindset, but then afterwards we're able to sit down with everyone and talk about those scenarios. We were fortunate enough to have these on video so we could review them with everyone and talk about the goods and the bads and the ways we need to improve, the things we're doing really well. And then in the future, we'll revisit these same scenarios again and let our guardians make the changes that they would like to be better at those.
How much better off after training like this are your guardians than they were before?
I don't even know if you could put a number on it. It's completely different. Shooting at static targets at the gun range as opposed to a person. That whole mindset is different, and the conversations afterward have been so meaningful and poignant.
These are people here in your community, and they are charged with a very serious task. They up for it?
Every one of them has their own children or grandchildren, and in the beginning, that was always my concern. Are they going to be able to do this? But as we've trained and got to this point, they are definitely up for it. The concern and the love that they show for our kids in our schools is just unreal. And now to add this other element to their tool belt, I think just makes them that much stronger, that much better.
The law mandates that there be continual training, and the sheriff says they will do that scenario-based training each and every month moving forward. Jim Spiewak, KUTV 2 News.